Oh, wait, no longer greatness has arrived. Welcome to the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, aka Mr. Badbit, and it is here where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation. Of course, you can listen to this show wherever you find your podcasts and the video version on YouTube at The Trophy Room Show. And if you like what you hear, please consider dropping us a 5-star review over on Apple Podcasts, plop us a follow on Spotify, or toss us a buck our way over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. With all that said, and with all that out of the way, the greatest co-host whoever is, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm currently writing a tweet expressing my anger at Square Enix for not giving me Star Ocean 2.
Oh.
How dare they?
I feel like anger on Twitter usually works out.
Yeah, right?
So listen, Kyle, first off, this episode's a little different because we're joined by a live studio audience. We just got done watching the very abrupt PlayStation State of Play that was literally just announced a few days ago, talking about how they were going to cover some third-party games, and it'd be about 20 minutes long. So not a big show by any means, but we got a couple few in there as well. This week, we're also going to talk about how there's new Horizon Forbidden West details, a Returnal update that's going to bring saves to the game, and Sackboy may be the next character to make its way on the PC and all that. Ooh. But before we get into it, I want to thank our lovely audience here. Thank you so much for stopping by and reacting alongside us to what is definitely a state of play. So, Kyle, I want to just get your thoughts right into it. What were your expectations for this show, and were they met?
I think that my expectations were set accordingly and correctly. Thought it'd be a smaller on the scale of grand announcements, nothing huge.
Yeah.
And I think they nailed it. It was a solid show.
Yeah.
There was a lot of cool things there. Seeing, obviously, we'll get into it, but like seeing what is one of my favorite games of the year coming to PlayStation is huge.
Mm-hmm.
I will gladly play Death's Door again because it's fantastic. So yeah, I think it was a solid show. And again, shout out to Sony for telling us what to expect. So we're not out here like expecting the next Uncharted game or a Bloodborne 2 or anything like that. Like I'm very excited and happy that they keep doing that.
Yeah, I really like that all these companies are really doing a great job of setting expectations, because when they said it, they even said like it's going to be a smaller show. We're going to talk about some third-party, partnerships that we have, and it's going to be about 20 minutes long. And that kind of gave you all you really needed to know. This was going to be a smaller show. When they even, we talked about it before the show started, when they said, hey, Little Devil Inside's going to showcase what we're going to be looking at, or what to expect. That was going to be the headliner. I think we could expect what this showcase was going to look like. And for the most part, I'll be honest with you, my expectations were met, because I think we've had enough of these state of plays to know they're either going to knock the doors off of you or they're just going to be fine. And for me, it's just fine. This one was fine. Yeah. Not a lot of games spoke to me, but I can't ask, for every showcase to be like, give me immediately what I want and only the thing I want, no one else.
And I honestly feel like since we are so close to the Game Awards, mm-hmm. which arguably reaches more people because a lot of people watch the Game Awards, I feel like if PlayStation had anything gigantic and huge, they'd save it for that.
That's true. That's only at this point, it's a little over a month away.
A few weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. It is weird because I think some of the safe bets were things like, Spider-Man in Avengers, which everybody's like, yeah, it's a no-brainer. Square Enix said that they would put this, they would put Spider-Man or introduce them in Avengers. What better time when Guardians comes out to better reception to add this character in Avengers?
For sure.
Weird that we didn't see him. Mm-hmm. Weird that wasn't the announcement. So before we break down what this show entitled and our overall thoughts walking out of it, I do want to give a big shout out to our patrons over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. And like we say each and every week, whether we got you through a long car ride, a long day at work, anything personal in your life, it really does help us out if you go over to patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. It helps keep the lights on, helps keep the show going. It's a reason why we look so great, sound so good, able to do these elaborate streams when we can. It's because of your support over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. I want to thank our newest member at the bronze tier, Miles Adler. I want to thank our platinum producers, Todd Burowitz, Too Soon, and Toxic. I want to thank our gold members, Brad Presnell, Gavin Gottfried, Jose Jimenez, Jedi Master Ren, Metal Kirby, and Robbie Bobby Miller himself. I want to thank our silver plus members, Hide Indoors, Nakachaka, Marcus O'Neill, oh, it's just Ray, JB the Purple Monkey, Jada's Fawn Metal, Tim Ulf, Justin Rodriguez, Awesome Dave, Cypher Primus, Captain Logan, Tom Roper, Brenton Zachary, Rick Arrington, and Mr. and Mrs. Nasty Boots, and Manax in Dwani Raksha. Thank you all so much for supporting us the way you do. And you know what? I got to the point, I'm like, when's this list going to end? I only got one breath. It's crazy. But thank you all so much for supporting us the way you do. We have some really cool Patreon stuff coming in the next few days. A little bit of a refresh, some new shows to look forward to, only if you're a patron. So definitely check us out. Again, that post should be up on the first Monday of November. So go check it out. It's going to be a ton of fun. Some really exciting stuff. And with that, Kyle, it's time to square up the state of play. Now, I'm going to run you through each game by game, and kind of just, I want to get your thoughts on each game. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, good. The first game that we got was Death Burst, which kind of seemed like it was like a Devil May Cry meets... What's that?
Yeah, speaking of this Deathverse that had the subtitle Let It Die.
Yes.
PlayStation just tweeted out with a blog post dedicated to it. This is a follow-up, a sequel, quote-unquote, to the original game Let It Die, which came out in 2016. Do you remember that game?
Yes.
Like the skateboarding skeleton?
Yes.
Apparently this reality show competition thing, which is basically what it is, it takes place hundreds of years after the world of, or the events of Let It Die. Players fight for stardom in the survival TV reality show Death Jamboree. The show takes place in a virtual world known as the Deathverse, which was created by the Yotsuyama Group as a final destination for people's souls.
Oh, now
interesting.
First off, this does have me intrigued for sure. And they talk a little bit about it. Thrilling survival action gameplay centered around close range attacks. This is a multiplayer, like action based again, like Devil May Cry-esque combat. No talk of if this was a battle royale, because we saw a lot of players in here. I'm wondering if this is like a 4v4 or 8v8 type of thing. Yeah. But
I'm trying to see if anything in the blog post says anything about it.
Yeah, no, nothing on my end. So with that said, Kyle, what were your thoughts on this? Did this one strike your fancy?
I kind of dig the style of it. It's just,
Same.
It's not for me.
Oh, really?
So I mean, yeah, if it is a multiplayer game like this, if people don't know, it's just not my kind of thing. Playing against other people, unless it's The Last of Us factions mode. So it's not my thing. If there's like a single player component so I can experience the world, maybe. Okay. But I also never played Let It Die, the original, back in 2016. So.
Fair enough. For me, I dug what I saw here, and it kind of did remind me of The Last of Us multiplayer in a weird sense, because if we're scavenging for things, because they say there's a survival element in there, I think that'll have some closer ties to the factions multiplayer than we think. So this is cool. It's stylish enough. I don't think it's gonna be the next Fortnite or anything like that, but it looks pretty rad. I was in on it. And then the next game we have is We Are OFK, an indie pop game. So you're following this indie rock band as they're traversing through their career. It's going to be episodic, 5 episodes, and then 5 of their songs that you'll be playing and are interactive. I loved the way they introed this game.
Loved it. Most of the time when games or just any sort of media tries to do this fourth wall breaking thing, it doesn't feel natural.
Yes.
And like the lead singer of We Are OFK, which I assume that is the lead singer.
Yeah.
Just his mannerisms or their mannerisms just like made sense. It fit that they were breaking the fourth wall and making jokes about we're watching a state of play. What do they think? We're the president? it made sense. It's cool.
It was really tongue in cheek, and I really enjoyed the dialogue. I really enjoyed the style that they were going for as well. And when they're introing it, and the guy has like the fake "in a world with big soldiers and big arms and big thick arms." It's like, maybe
they're robot arms, not human arms. How do they get so big?
I really dug this game, and it's surprisingly for me because it is very indie stylized, like cell shaded almost, you could say, if you're not like an artist with a good eye like me, but like
it's kind of like watercolor.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Very pastel-y. Yeah, it was very cool.
I like that. That's way better. So we're on board with this game. This seems pretty darn neat. All right, so we're 2 for 2 so far. All right, Kyle, this one you freaked out on stream. You freaked out, and I really thought, because you were 10 seconds ahead of me, so I'm like, oh, Kyle got his Final Fantasy he always wanted.
Yeah.
Bug Snacks, the Big Snacks Island.
Yes! Snacks but bigger.
Snacks but bigger.
I mean, it's no,
go for it. Take it away.
Surprise. It's no surprise to people who have listened to our show. I adore Bug Snacks. If you're a patron, go check out our Road to Greatness on it, where I talk about it and how dark that game gets, because that game gets dark at the end.
Honestly, and I'm like, how do they get a sequel out of it?
That's the thing. I don't know. Like, I feel like those are new characters. Maybe I'm so far removed from playing that game.
Yeah.
That I forgot who they are, but
maybe it's like a Jurassic Park to Jurassic Park 2 situation.
It could be. Yeah. I'm very intrigued by more Bug Snacks.
We built a new park. Everything's fine. What happened? Where's the Raptors?
Exactly. In this case, they're curly fries.
In this case.
It just more Bug Snacks is never a bad thing.
Yeah.
In my eyes.
Also, it's really cool to see with that game. So many people going, this is like seeing my son or seeing my daughter play this game is giving me such hope. Like, I really do love that. So just because it's not for me, I don't need to trash it.
And it's a free upgrade.
Free.
And shout out to is it Good Young Horses?
Young Horses, yeah.
Or just young. Why did I put good in there? Shout, because they are very good. Young Horses is great, and getting them more of a platform to showcase what they can do is always a good thing.
Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach is the next game.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because you said it. It's like, what's crazy for us, because we're looking at it, we're like, this is supposed to be a kid's game, or it is a kid's game, and it's like scary-esque. It's like, how do these kids like it? And you said something so great. It's like, this is someone's Resident Evil.
This is like the kids' version of Resident Evil, which is mind-blowing when I think about it.
Which it's just like, I'm like, wow, Kyle's so right. Like, a podcast 5 years from now, someone's gonna be like, that was my inspiration. Like, oh Jesus,
that's what got me into horror games. Was Five Nights at Freddy.
Oh my god. All right, let's talk about the one that we got hyped for, Kyle. You ready?
I'm ready.
This one I think is the showstopper. Death's Door comes to PlayStation November 28th. You pre-order it now, you get Titan Souls, right? Is that right?
Yes, Titan Souls.
For free. This game came out, what is it? In June of this year on Xbox as a Game Pass. No, not a Game Pass exclusive. Just an Xbox
June or
exclusive.
It might have been August.
No, it was definitely June. I got that locked down.
Before E3?
It was before E3, I think.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe a little bit after. Maybe it was July. Nonetheless, this game came out exclusively on Xbox. Now it's coming to PlayStation a few months later. This game's terrific. If you love old classic Zelda, this is it. And instead of a guy with a sword that just says "yeah ha yeah," you are a big or a giant pigeon with a sword, and you're doing literally death's work. This game is so freaking good, Kyle. And I can't wait to finally earn trophies in it.
Yeah, and shout out to the humor in this game, too.
Yes.
I think the humor is fantastic in it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. November 23rd, Unit corrects me. This is great having a live studio audience. And then the good sir says it originally came out July 20th. July 20th, Kyle.
Oh. Also, for those that care, it's also coming to Switch.
Oh, is it really?
Yes, it's also coming to Switch.
I'm going to buy this game 3 times.
Right? There is a courtesy of Special Reserves, which is very much like a limited run situation where they bring digital to physical. There is a physical version of Death's Door pre-order available on November 23rd.
Yeah. I got to take a look if these achievements...
I got to sell something to get some money so I can get them.
Don't worry about it. Here's the thing. I want to know how easy the achievements are. So, like, I'll look at, like, whatever the version of, like, PlayStation trophies are, whatever, PSN profiles are for Xbox folks, and take a look. Because depending on how hard this trophy is or Platinum is going to determine if I'm buying this on PlayStation or Switch. Because I need a lunch game. I need a game where I'm on lunch.
Ooh.
I'm out of Metroid Dread, which was freaking amazing and officially a PlayStation game. And now Death's Door, officially a PlayStation game. Who would have knew?
I love how you've just co-opted Metroid as a PlayStation game. It's ours.
It is to me. It is to me. And we'll treat you right, Samus. Not like this Nintendo Nook would. Kyle, the next game we neither cared about. Kart Rider Drift. It's like a Korean chibi Mario Kart.
Free to play.
Free to play.
From what I remember. PlayStation needs a good kart racer.
Needs it. You said it during the stream. It upsets me we don't have one. It upsets me that Mod Nation Racers was the closest thing we'd ever get.
Where is our version on the PlayStation? I keep saying our. Where's the PlayStation version of Mario Kart or Nicktoons Nick Kart or Sonic and Sega All-Stars? Like, why can't I get Kratos in a go-kart?
Yeah.
Why is that so hard?
And I feel like it's because some of those fans can't see Kratos driving a kart. He needs to be demolishing ahead. Like, they'll be like,
I can't see Bowser riding a kart either. But they'll be like,
how's Nathan Drake really going faster than Kratos right now? Like, he doesn't even need a kart. You know what I mean? We're gonna get that. Like, it's dumb, but it's fun. Just lose it. Yeah, you're so right. We need one. Bring mods.
God, think about it. Like instead of those question boxes, they're trophies: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum.
I mean, we're practically made this game already.
Sony, let's go.
Come on, what do we need to do?
Imagine going through oh my god, think, Kyle. One of the tracks is like in downtown Pittsburgh from The Last of Us, or Yarnum,
but fun,
Bloodborne,
but fun, yeah,
exactly.
Oh, this is inviting. Oh, the old blood.
Imagine around Midgard in God of War with like the giant serpent stake in the background.
Yeah, would that be our Rainbow Road?
Yes, it would. Absolutely, it would.
Oh my god! And then you just like, but like, what if it's like Astrobot, but like he just has costumes?
Oh, I'd be so down.
I'd be down on that too.
So down.
Hey, Kyle, here's a question from Captain Logan before we even started this show. Back to Death's Door for just a second. Captain Logan asks, how does it feel knowing you bought an Xbox for Death's Door and now Death's Door is coming to PlayStation? How does that make you feel?
That's a great question. Makes me feel very sad.
Just take a look. Listen, just take a look at that Halo trailer from yesterday, all right?
Oh, yeah, no. Like, I'm happy I own one. I admittingly haven't touched it since Death's Door, if I'm totally honest. But yeah, Halo's coming. I want to play through all the Halos for the first time in Infinite. So, yeah, I'm okay with it. But the reason I bought an Xbox Series X, by the way, was for Death's Door. And now I'm going to platinum it on PlayStation.
Whoopsies.
Whoops.
Oopsies. All right, next one, King of Fighters. We're not fighting, folk.
15.
15 of them. Found out there was 15 of them today. When Kyle told me the name is King of Fighters 15. I thought we were done after the 5th gen. I thought that game just died out, but nope. It's still there. And listen, if you're happy for it, I'm glad you are. You could kick my ass any day in any of those games very easily. One-handed. Blindfolded. Any of it. With your foot. I don't care.
Yeah.
Don't even have to touch the controller.
There is one genre I wish I was good at, and that's fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the fighting game fan base are diehards for their series. So the King of Fighter fans are very excited that it's coming to PlayStation for sure.
Oh yeah. Here's another one.
Plus with oh my god, PlayStation partnered with what? They bought
Evo. You're right. This makes sense. This makes way more sense,
right?
Yep. First Class Trouble is a third-person Among Us style game. Comes out on the 2nd of November, and if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber, you have a week to download it for free. I'm into this. It also has like this 1920s, 1930s futuristic aesthetic, which I'm down for. There are multiple people on a map. One of them's a robot, so obviously sus, and their job is to kill everybody on the map. Again, it's Among Us. I'm down for this. I'm down. It looks good.
I would love to play this during like Extra Life with a big group of people.
Ooh, that's and we're doing that in a few weeks. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one for you nerds out there, Kyle. Star Ocean Divine Force. Tell me what Star Ocean is again. I keep forgetting.
Star Ocean is a long-running JRPG.
Right.
That is huge. It is a huge new addition to the Star Ocean lineup. To have a brand new one is cool. It's just...
It's not Star Ocean 2?
It looks fine. It looks cool. It's not Star Ocean 2. How can they sit there in their ivory thrones, their ivory towers, and be like, here's a new Star Ocean. Here's every Star Ocean on your system that you can play, except for the second one, which might be the best one. It's stuck. Like there was a PSP remaster, which was really good, and then the original one was PlayStation 1. That's it. Those are the only systems you can play it on. I don't understand. Square Enix, do the right thing.
My thoughts and prayers for you, sir. My thoughts and prayers.
But this game does look cool. A wide open JRPG in the Star Ocean universe. They generally have really great characters in them that people do grab a hold of and really dig. So it's cool.
Nice.
Early 2022, right?
Even Yuna in chat says, listen, when it comes to that First Class Trouble game, we'll join you there. And Star Ocean comes out 2022. Yeah. Maybe we'll join you there too, Kyle.
That's not a February game, is it? Is that a February game?
No. Okay. God, let's hope not.
Stop.
Don't tease them because they will announce it. Too many games coming out in February. That King of Fighters game coming out in February 17th.
That's what it was. I know you said February at some point.
Little Devil Inside gets a pretty sizable look. This game looks cute, dude. I'm all up on it. I'm all up in it.
I'm trying to combine the trailer we saw last year and this together. And from last year, I got the vibe of you're this kid, this young person who is doing adventures for this older guy that can't do it anymore, and he's living through you. But now it just looks like you're taking them along with you on your adventures. I dig it. The only thing that bugged me is the overworld travel looked way too slow.
Yes.
It's the only thing that really bugged me, but I'm in for everything else.
Yeah. Think of it like, picture in your head, folks. If you're driving, close your eyes. Don't really do that. Or maybe do it. I don't know. Listen, if I have that much say in your life,
don't do it.
Troublesome.
Don't do it.
It's troublesome thought. All right. Don't do it unless you want to. So here's the thing.
No. This is like the old trophy room where you would tell people run into stores with their cars because they're not paying attention. And I would always tell you that
it's their fault, not mine. All right.
I mean, whatever.
Little Devil Inside. The overworld, think of it like think of it like a Mario, where you're going from level to level, right? Top down. This though travels a lot slower from level to level. And I don't know, just like you, how much I dig it. But once
you're like a Russian nesting doll too.
Yeah, which I like that art style. That's cute.
Yeah.
Just move it
art
at
style's
3.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, move it at 3 times speed. Move it up. But when you get to a level, that's where things get really interesting, because then that does remind me of like a classic, let's say, Zelda hack and slash-esque game. They got a great dodge. You're surrounded by enemies and you're just hacking and slashing. And I love a good dodge in a game. This one has it. And it looks really awesome. Like the style, I can't put my finger on it, but it's unique. It's something really cool. I recommend anybody take a look at this. This could be something special.
I'm glad that it won you over, because beforehand you're like, who's really excited for the Little Devil Inside? And I'm happy you won you over.
Now there's 6 people. Now there's 6 people really excited.
Sound off in the comments if you're excited for Little Devil Inside. I want to count.
Yeah. No, it looks really good. And at the end of the day, Kyle, we're going over these games. They're pretty darn good. I enjoyed them. They're not
a good showcase.
Yeah, it's not a big blockbuster, but it was decent. It was a good showing. That said, I still would have preferred them to say indie, because there's a lot of indie-ish games in here.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm shocked that there weren't more bigger things. Again, like the Game Awards are close, and probably a lot of third-party people are probably holding it for that. But like, I think it would have been cool to have like Resident Evil 4 in VR just came out for Oculus.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, hey, you can play it on PSVR now. Like, I think that would have been cool. Or something of like a bigger IP, but now that I'm even saying that, like Star Ocean's pretty big.
Yeah. And also,
I mean, it was a good show.
Like what Good Sir says in the chat, which he joins the club of us 3 and 3 other people that are excited for Little Devil Inside. They say, where's Stray? That's a great question. We saw a little bit at the Annapurna show. My biggest question is where's Solar Ash? That's delayed till December. So like that's only a month away. We still haven't seen it.
That was the last one, wasn't it? Wasn't that in the last one?
That's true. And you want them to focus on the game. All right, fine, fair. I would have still liked it, just a reminder that this game exists, because it looks really cool. All right. Petulant Beard writes, was the show a low-key
banger?
Yeah, it was fun. It was nice. It was a nice time. It was enjoyable.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Kyle. So that was the state of play. We both thought it was fine. We both came in with, level-headed expectations. Got a level-headed experience. I like that.
Yeah.
Now, Kyle, it's time to square up the news.
The first bit of news that needs to be squared up is from Jared Moore over at IGN. Guerrilla offers a closer look at Horizon Forbidden West's abilities. Guerrilla spoke further about some of the new tools that players will have, as well as factors that have influenced Forbidden West's new combat decisions. Lead systems designer David McMullen explained that a new high volt mechanic, quote, essentially allows Aloy. The Aloy after allows really threw me off. Essentially allows Aloy to hoist herself on top of any object of jumpable height with room to pull up. Combined with the ability to free climb and adding grapples to our environment, the potential for exploration is greatly increased, end quote. The pullcaster is multifunction and primarily works much like you'd expect a grapple hook in a game to function. However, it has a secondary function as a winch, which means, quote, the player can dynamically manipulate, move, and destroy the objects in the environments, end quote, according to McMullen. Think about pulling a hidden loot chest from a ledge or tearing open a vent to create a new climb path, he adds. McMullen also explained that the additions to climbing and traversal mechanics can be mixed up with Aloy's new Shield Wing glider. The Shield Wing combines The Shield Wing...
You got this. Take a moment.
The Shield Wing combines well with numerous other mechanics both in and out of combat, such as landing on your mount, ziplining, the strike from above skill, and more. Elsewhere in the blog post, the studio discussed the changes it's making to combat. Guerrilla has completely redesigned Horizon's skill tree and included workbenches that allow players a greater degree of customization when upgrading weapons. The studio is also bringing melee and range combat closer together. Guerrilla's lead combat designer, Dennis Safi, offered an example of how the two aspects work together in Forbidden West's combat system. Quote, a new example of a skill that does this is the Resonator Blast, where you charge up the spear with melee hits, and when fully powered up, the energy can be placed on enemies, humans and machines alike, and followed up with a projectile, resulting in a big, damaging explosion. End quote.
So we saw a snippet of this, and this looked actually really, really cool, where she grapple hooks onto a ledge. She then went on the ledge, jumps off, and then just starts shooting a Strider midair. And then you see another clip of her charging up her spear and then going for a strike against a robot. So it looks pretty awesome, and I like what they're saying here. The mixture of melee and ranged combat is more inviting for more folks, because some people didn't necessarily dig the combat in Horizon. I feel like there's three camps. Some people didn't like the combat as much. They thought it was too difficult. Others thought the melee system was just too simple. And then three, which probably is our group, really liked the focus of ranged combat and trapping and all that stuff. So first thing right off the bat, this giving you a lot more hope for Forbidden West. I mean, we're already super high on it, but
I'm always super high, but I'm excited that the things that weren't up to snuff with everything else, like the melee specifically, is 100% getting a look and some reworking, which is fantastic. The hearing that there's going to be workbenches has me very excited.
It looks like
I want to customize
more...
like my sling pouch or my sling weapon and do cool things with that. I think there's a lot of really cool things that can be done there.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and getting your
hello. I'm waving to the people that coming in chat. I'm sorry, YouTube videos viewers.
All right. And when it comes to the customization of how Aloy is going to look and how our weapons are going to look, really excites me as well. So it looks like we're really getting to craft the Aloy that we want, not in just combat, but also appearance, which is really dope to see. My second question here for you, Kyle, is this post came out at a very peculiar time, and I want to get your take on this. This came out almost the same time, an hour apart from the Halo Infinite single player overview. Do you think this was a response, or was this just awkward timing? Was this like awkward PlayStation? Timing. Yeah. Do you think like this was PlayStation trying to steal the shine from Xbox in any sort of way?
No. I think it's awkward timing, especially because they had devs on to talk about it.
Right.
I feel like it'd be, they're so deep in development, and it got delayed out of 2021 without even being officially confirmed for 2021. And like they're deep in development in it. They got to get work on it. So having like a set time to sit down with devs and asking them questions about these things, they get this feature out. I feel is probably planned a long time ahead.
Yes.
I don't think they can just ring up Guerrilla and be like, hey, Halo's out. Let's talk about the pullcaster.
Aaron Greenberg sent out a tweet. Get your guys from QA down here.
Someone get a clip of the video of her using it in the game and put it on social. Like, I feel like there's a lot to go into that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think you're right there. I think this is, if I was the PR person in the room, I scheduled this a few weeks ago, and this is just how it lined up. So I don't think this was necessarily a response to Halo. What I maybe do think it may be a test for is maybe seeing how it lines up against Elden Ring would be a great measurement now that it's out of like, okay, so where does our game track on socials when we talk about it versus when we talk about Elden Ring. It doesn't matter about Halo. They're not even the same genre, let alone the same month. I think what they're really looking at is the analytical social trends that is going to be between Horizon and its competition in that month, if it should stay in that month or not, which I still think it maybe should. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't, but I wouldn't be surprised if it stays in February as well, because it's such a crowded month, but it's such a popular IP. So awesome to see that there's going to be more traversal options. There's going to be, it looks like a more broader combat in this game, and I'm super pumped for this, man. This gets me excited.
So ready. I'm so ready.
Now, Kyle, I don't want to, for any new viewer in here, I'm a bit of a motorhead. All right, I'm a bit of a car guy. I'm all about the zoom zoom, like that Mazda commercial. You know the kid that says
you saying
zoom
zoom? Also, yes, I get that, but you know what instantly popped in my head?
What?
This might be a reference that goes over in many people's head, but Xenon, the 21st Century Girl, the Disney original movie, she sings a song, Zoom Zoom. And that's the first thing that popped in my head.
Oh my god!
Zoom, zoom. Sorry, I had to get it out there.
You should be. Remember Disney original movies?
Oh, they were so good.
Awful.
Oh, please. After TGI Fridays, like, you had Disney original movies that come out every so often. It's a great time. How dare you?
Gran Turismo 7, Kyle.
Tom Evad over at VGC writes, new Gran Turismo 7 video confirms there are over 400 cars in the game. Polyphony Digital CEO Kazunori Yamauchi confirms how many cars will be included in the upcoming racing game. Quote, Gran Turismo 7 includes cutting-edge PS5 quality models, but what makes GT7 special isn't just the high quality, he says. It's also the sheer number of car models it contains. There are over 400 cars in the game, and many of the most fascinating cars from motoring history are included in GT7. Revealing new details about the title in September, Yamauchi said GT7 was, quote, both the culmination of the series, which answers the expectations of GT fans throughout the years, and at the same time, it is a title that marks a beginning of a difficult mission to contain the full breadth of car culture from the past into a single video game, end quote.
Kyle, how is Gran Turismo going to take back the title? Because it just seems like it belongs to Forza now. Right? It just seemed like, because I'm taking a look, like Honest Engine. I don't mess with cars. I have a Toyota Corolla. It has excellent gas mileage, I think, and that's all I know. But if there's a car series that I actually turn to and go, oh, wow, that looks good, it's usually the Forza Horizon series. Because you just, they literally prepare the drop, right onto a mountain.
Because it's more like arcadey.
Yeah.
It's more accessible. I feel like with Forza Motorsport proper and Gran Turismo, it's really for, the gearhead simulated, you want to clutch and switch gears and do all that manually on your controller and have that feel of being in control of a ton of metal.
Right.
I guess a car is like a ton of metal.
Yeah.
It's just I feel like these games, the more simulation heavy racing games are for the really deep in it.
Yeah.
The hardcore race fans and car people.
As you can hear, if you hear my dog in the back, he's a big motorhead. He's got some thoughts on that. No, I agree with you, Kyle. I think for me, as someone who isn't a big motorhead, I take a game like Dirt 5 that just came out last year, and I played it and I loved it, and it was because I didn't have to think too much about it, and just everything looked pretty, and I was just kind of having some zen moments going around a lap because it wasn't that difficult, the AI weren't that challenging, and I was just kind of getting lost in the moment. I think that's when we're taking a look at what's coming up in a few days at this point, or no, still a few weeks with Forza Horizon. You just take a look at how beautiful that game looks.
Yeah,
it's shot in what is it, 8K or something stupid?
Something, and they took video of the sky or something.
Yeah,
that's wow.
And I think it gives as much detail to the cars as it does the world, and that's what makes those games special. I really wish we had something with Gran Turismo that did something similar.
Yeah. I think the only thing PlayStation has had on that kind of Horizon level is the Need for Speed series, but they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And MotorStorm was great. I don't know what happened to MotorStorm. They should bring those back because they're fun.
Yeah.
But those aren't traditional cars. Those are ATVs and,
exactly
and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, where is the arcade realistic racing game for PlayStation? It's not really there unless Dirt is it, but again, that's everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah, but like I take a look at what he was talking about in the trailer. It's really cool that it seems like they're trying to expand it of like because Yamaguchi says a lot about car culture in this video. He says car culture like 20 times. He's like racing's a part of car culture. You know, what's it? Collecting cars is a part of car culture. Talking about cars is part of car culture. It's like, Jesus Christ, a seat in a car is car culture. So like, it seems like they're trying to broaden it a bit. But I'm really interested for the actual racing and motorheads out there of like, when you take a look at motorsport, what is the first thing that comes into your mind? Is it Forza? Is it Gran Turismo? Let us know.
Yeah, and I think going back to your original question, like what does Gran Turismo have to do to take some of that public opinion on when they think of it, they go Forza first. Mm-hmm. I think this is a great step in the right direction. Like 400 cars.
Yeah.
They could span, and I think what I'm guessing from Gran Turismo is it's going to span like over time.
Mm.
So like it'd be really cool to say have like a real simulation of a very old car and like a new car and see how much the difference is.
Give me a Model T versus a Tesla X.
Yeah. That could be fun. That could be a way to like preserve car history and really showcase it off and be like a real. That could be even like a thing outside of games, like Assassin's Creed does with like the museum mode.
Oh, that's a
where you just go around.
Yeah.
Like just like test out what car would win in a race and have different cars throughout history. I think that'd be really, really cool.
Yeah. No, I like that idea as well. Like Top Gear it, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
I love that show. That show's fantastic. So
I've never seen it, but I know it's good.
Oh, it's really good. It's really good. But at the same exact time, I do think you're right. I think by adding things over time, like by adding like more classic cars or, you know, giving more variety to players, I think that's the best way to go. I'm still excited for this. I'm actually going to try it out because I want to know how the haptics and the adaptive triggers play into these cars.
Oh yeah. And like, I want to see how pretty it looks on my OLED TV.
Oh, yes.
And I think we talked about it on a few episodes back, but like my dad is a big car person.
Mm-hmm.
Like he drove a drag racer.
Yeah,
he would compete.
The movie Driver was about him. Is what you were telling me. 100%.
Yeah. Sly Stallone was at my house. We talked about how to adapt my dad's life for the story. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, but like I think he's gonna get a real kick of how far racing and just video games have come because like he played. I think I showed him like Gran Turismo 2 on PS2, I believe it was, or 3, one of the two. And he was like, "Oh, this is really cool," but he has not seen it like since then, like games really are. So like, just to show him like how far it's come visually and how intense it is, I think it'd be really cool.
All right. Well, you know what else is really cool, Kyle?
What?
The fact that Returnal lets you save your goddamn run now.
Thank you, Housemark.
Thank you.
Sermina Khan over at PS Lifestyle writes, Returnal update lets players pause cycle with single-use suspend point and exit without losing progress. Housemark has made good on its promise and released Returnal Update 2.0, which allows players to pause their current cycle and exit the game without losing their progress. The caveat is that the suspend cycle feature only allows a single-use suspend point, which means that if you play a little bit and want to suspend the cycle again, your game will continue from the new point onwards. In addition to the above, players won't be able to use the suspend cycle feature during boss battles, cinematics, first-person sequences, and intense combat scenarios. In that sense, this feature isn't a traditional save game option. Housemark has said that it feels, quote, there are certain moments in Returnal that are best experienced unfragmented to preserve the intended challenge and flow.
Yes.
With this approach, we can keep the roguelike spirit and high-stakes commitment to your run intact, while still providing some quality-of-life convenience for players who like to experience Returnal in shorter bursts, end quote, the studio wrote on the PlayStation blog. Alongside the suspend cycle feature, Returnal Update 2.0 has added the highly requested photo mode. All you have to do is pause the game, enter photo mode, and get creative. There are a variety of filters, effects, and frames at your disposal, so enjoy capturing some unique moments. Housemark further wrote that Returnal has had a fantastic reception, and it's truly pleased and grateful to see players enjoy the experience.
Yeah. Let me tell you something.
It's so good.
It's so good. And I love the highly requested photo mode. That's for real.
That's great.
Seeing it on Twitter already, people talking about or using photo mode and Housemark highlighting it, some awesome screenshots. Damn, y'all are too talented.
Yeah.
Y'all are so good at this, man. It makes me want to go back in. It really does.
And that's the thing. And I get why people are probably not thrilled with the suspend cycle not being able to do it multiple times, but I think having it the way it is, and if you haven't played Returnal, what they're saying is like preserve that challenge and flow. 100% agree.
Makes sense. Yeah, because
makes so much sense. You don't want to have a point in the middle of a firefight, because then that's going to ruin your fun. You're just going to be loaded in and like die instantly, and that's not great. And I think you learning from the enemies and the spray patterns and whatnot, I don't want it to be worked around.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Like Joseph Yaden on Twitter, actually, friend of the show, he actually is like, there is maybe possible ways of breaking this, but like I wouldn't want that. I'm with you, Kyle. As I've gotten into so many roguelites this past year, I do want that challenge to be preserved. I understand the limitations of save points because that does eliminate risk if you could just end your game and go back to where you died. The whole point of roguelikes is to die and try again, learn and repeat and all that. And the way the Returnal works as well is, it's not to say it's not like, hard, but it's about creating those shortcuts. Like there's two main acts to this game, so it's not like if you get to the last level you're back at level 1. It's not how that works at all. So this actually is a great compromise that I think they've done. It's going to make the game a lot better. I've gotten a few people coming at me going, is it Game of the Year worthy now that it's patched? I would like to argue it always was. It always was.
Yeah. And I realize me saying like keep the challenge intact kind of contradicts my previous talks of like Souls-like games and having be a little bit more accessible and whatnot. I still think, yeah, sure, I'll take it, whatever. I still think the way Returnal's a bit different. Like you said, it's more of a roguelike thing where your skill, you absolutely need to have skill in this game, but it also depends on what your loadout is.
Yeah.
What parasites are you attaching to? It's all about the build that you create, and once you find that build and you know what you're looking for, it's going to be way smoother and easy sailing. Because the enemies do you'll learn them pretty quick.
Yes. Yeah.
Especially on PS5, you're in and out loading wise. Like you don't have to wait. Like it's very quick. Yeah. Which is very good.
Yeah, I love Returnal. I think the way that they've crafted it and the way that they've met this compromise, I think is perfect. It's fantastic. Yeah. Go play this game. Go buy this game.
Absolutely.
Go support House.
Where was this when we were grinding for the platinum, though, Joe?
You know what? I'm a little salty about that. But you know what I'm not salty about, Kyle?
What?
The possibility of Sackboy A Big Adventure making the jump to PC. That's what I'm not salty about.
Oh boy. Cue the baby voice. I'm not doing it, but cue the baby voice. Robert Ramsey over at Push Square writes, Sackboy A Big Adventure is making the jump to PC. Sackboy A Big Adventure could be the next PlayStation exclusive to arrive on PC. References to the game's original code name Project Marmalade have been found on Steam's database, and the title was also included in the infamous GeForce Now leak, which was picked apart earlier this year. However, these traces have apparently just been scrubbed on Steam's side, which raises even more questions. So is it happening? Well, it certainly wouldn't come as a surprise, would it? By this point, we all know that Sony is happy to port PlayStation exclusives to PC once the company believes that sales have hit a ceiling on console. God of War was confirmed for PC just last week, although part of the reasoning behind that is to grow the property's potential audience before God of War Ragnarok hits later in 2022. If Sackboy does end up on PC, we imagine that'll be a Days Gone situation where Sony's simply looking to maximize profits. The other Sony games that were leaked from this GeForce Now leak are as follows: Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Edition, Helldivers 2, Horizon Forbidden West, GT7, Deracine, God of War, Returnal, Demon Souls, Ratchet and Clank, no specific one of the entries, Sackboy: A Big Adventure, Ghost of Tsushima, and in big bold letters that Joe put, no Bloodborne, Spider-Man, or Last of Us, Last Guardian, Gravity Rush, etc., unless listed above.
It hurts. I do want to mention the second part I did get from Reddit, which is always accurate. So this is something we didn't talk about last month, is this big GeForce leak that pretty much someone made an oopsie over at GeForce, over at NVIDIA, and some what is it called? Data miners found a huge list of upcoming games, unannounced games, project names on their storefront, which I think is just wild. And these are games that, like, there's like a rumored Superman game, like the Suicide Squad game was there, and then in this leak, before these games were announced, Uncharted Legacy, a Thieves Edition, and God of War were in that GeForce leak. So it begs to be reminded that this list could have more truth to it, or this leak could have more truth to it than it appears.
Because I pulled up the leak and just to see what was on there, and there are some heavy hitters.
Yeah.
For me as the JRPG nerd, Chrono Cross remaster, Final Fantasy Tactics remaster, a Final Fantasy 9 remake. Are you kidding me? Kingdom Hearts 4, that one's a little out there. RE4 remake, Street Fighter 6, Dragon's Dogma 2, Monster Hunter 6. The Grand Theft Auto remasters were on here before they were official. BioShock 2022, like there are some big things on here. XCOM 3, Injustice 3. Fight for Middle Earth.
A lot of stuff.
Whew.
So that said, the GeForce leak is one thing. I feel like it's ruined 2 years worth of announcements.
Right?
That being said, Sackboy: A Big Adventure making its way to PC. Great. We've really beaten this thing.
I love that game.
Yeah, to death. Great. I'm just curious why this game and not like, Bloodborne. Because like Sackboy, I think that's for kids. And so like, is there like a giant audience? Oh wait, I would say no. I'm talking myself through this. You got Minecraft's for kids. So yeah, there's a huge audience for this, and I'm just full of crap. All right. Absolutely. I'm just salty I didn't get my Bloodborne. And
there's not like, when I think of a platformer, I don't think PC.
Yeah.
I think console first, which I could be completely wrong. I don't know how many platformers are on PC, but Sackboy, a great adventure, right?
A big adventure.
It's a big adventure.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's a fantastic game.
Yeah.
It's going to do so well on PC.
This is the future. Now get over it. Please, I'm tired.
Exactly.
From here on out, Kyle, when there's a major announcement, unless it's goddamn Bloodborne, because we deserve it, it's not going to be a main story. It's just going to be in Flash News from here on out.
I agree.
This is how we're
going to be a broken record.
Yeah.
We're going to love it, and regardless, it's a good thing.
It's a good thing. Get over it. You know?
Exactly.
That said, Age of Empires will be the only PC game I ever play. But you know what's a game that I'll play in the foreseeable future if it's real?
Oh boy.
Let's talk about this Warner Brothers game.
Chris Scullion over at VGC writes, Warner is reportedly making a Smash Brothers style game with Batman and Gandalf. Correct. You heard me correctly, everybody. Corroborated by journalist Jeff Grubb. Further credibility was given to the claims following the discovery of a trademark filing by Warner Brothers, which was registered last month for the name Multiversus. The Reddit post claimed this weekend that the game was being handled by Mortal Kombat developer NetherRealm Studios. It is based on Super Smash Bros. And is a tag team game, though the poster wasn't clear on what this meant. Grubb confirmed on Twitter that he was aware of the project and that it was, quote-unquote, real, adding, but it's not a NetherRealm game. Come on. This is Jeff Grubb
Yeah.
saying that.
Yeah.
The reporter had claimed in August that NetherRealm was already working on Mortal Kombat 12, prioritizing it over its DC superhero series Injustice due to uncertainty over its future with parent company WB Games. According to the Multiversus claim, the list of characters in Multiversus includes Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, Gandalf from The Lord of the Rings,
Jesus
Tom and
Christ.
Jerry,
Just stop right there.
Batman,
It's already
Fred
got crazy.
Flintstone, Mad Max, Johnny Bravo, and in the there's an actual image that has Steven Universe,
Superman.
Harley Quinn, Superman.
Rick.
I believe it's Finn and
Jake
from Adventure Time. Thank you. Rick, Bugs Bunny, Wonder Woman. Why? This is me. Why?
Why not, Kyle? This is awesome. Dude, I said it on Twitter. I'll say it here right now. Imagine a world where Rick and Morty are the ice climbers of this game.
That'd be cool.
That is hilarious.
I have no doubt that this is going to be fun. It just makes me sad that we're not getting an All-Stars Battle Royale 2.
I get it. But maybe this is the thing that kind of goes, well, maybe we can do it.
Reignites it, maybe?
Yeah, because the problem with All-Stars was it was just like, it wanted to be a clone of Super Smash Brothers, but was afraid to make the leap.
But they did too many new things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
and
get
so
that.
if you're just like, it's Super Smash Brothers, but Nintendo won't talk to us. So like, like just give us what we want here. That would be awesome. And I love seeing this. Like we saw the Nickelodeon's game, which started off a little rough, but it seems like it's gotten there. And to have like a mainline studio, reportedly rumor of it being NetherRealm, but who knows at this point. But having it an internal led studio to make this game really excites me. Now, yes, is there some fourth wall breaking stuff like, you know, Rick Sanchez actually beating the shit out? Well, no, they would write that into for it to make work. Like Shaggy beating the shit out of, you know, Superman or Batman or anybody. Like, sure, there's like suspend your disbelief for a second, but like that's what these games are. Just suspend your disbelief for a second, play around with your action figures, have fun. And Kyle, if this is the thing that gives us the PlayStation Battle Royale 2, I am all down.
Sure. That's fair. I just can't wait for the battle of Jon Snow versus LeBron James from Space Jam.
From Space Jam. Dude, I'm really...
Or like, honestly, if they do it and like, everyone knows, I think, where I stand on this already, but like, I'd be kind of down for a Harry Potter versus Gandalf in a game.
Yo, real talk.
I'd be kind of down for that.
I would want to see Gandalf school his ass. You shall not pass.
Or Gollum versus Scooby Doo.
Yes. Yes.
Is there any like other WB property or characters that that has to be in there? I saw briefly. Oh my god, I'm blanking on his last name. Adam Leonard say Animaniacs has to be in it, or they're making a really bad decision.
Adam, I'm right there with you, dude. Yes. And they
have to be in the game.
Yeah, they could be like shadow characters or whatever they call them in Smash, where it's one character, but like you can just change the skin and it plays the same. Yeah. For me, dude, I watched Dune and I love that thing. Give me a Dune level, you know?
Ooh.
Yeah, give me or like full stop. Let's put Neo in here. Let's put Agent Smith.
Is that WB?
Yeah, right. It's because it's on HBO Max, or will be on HBO Max. So I'm assuming
that's fair. Oh my god!
What
if they have like Lego characters in this? Batman from the Lego movie?
Lego Batman versus the real Batman? It could be a Toon Link and Link situation. Oh my god.
You know what? You're selling me on it, Joe. The more I think about it, the more. Give me the dragons from Game of Thrones as well.
Yep.
Just put them in there.
Yep.
Oh yeah. You know what? White Walkers? Ooh, that'd be cool.
Let's do it. Honestly, this game sounds cooler the more we talk about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, all right. Enough of that. I'm excited to see if this is real. Was it in the Geforce leak? But we'll see. Let's get into some Flash news real fast. Alrighty? Only 2 bits of news.
Ready.
Only 2 bits of news. Apple Music is officially available on PlayStation 5, so you could switch on the quick menu if you want to listen to Spotify music while you're game, or if you have an Apple subscription, you can listen to Apple Music, which I don't use Apple Music, and as being a big Apple guy, that surprises a few people, but I'm a big Spotify person, so I don't know if you can listen to the Trophy Room on Apple Music, or if that's strictly Apple Podcasts and that's a separate app.
Yeah, I don't know.
But test it out for us and tweet it at us at PS Trophy Room on Twitter. Find out. But awesome that it's there. And then here's one from IGN real quick. Sony is reportedly happy with the sales of Kena Bridge of Spirits. This comes from George Yang from IGN. Mike and Josh Grier from Ember Lab have revealed that Sony is happy with the sales numbers of Kena and that the game has already recouped its initial development costs. In an interview with Bloomberg, the brothers didn't provide the sales numbers, but they noted that they were pleasantly surprised with the sales so far. Quote, "It's hard to tell what's a huge success. Sony's happy," said Josh. Mike also mentioned that Sony put plenty of effort into the marketing of Kena, A Bridge of Spirits, because a large amount of attention it was getting. It was revealed alongside the PS5 back in June 2020. Awesome to see this game do well. Awesome to see it succeed. Congratulations.
Thank goodness. I'm so happy for Ember Lab.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to, but Sony,
come on,
scoop them up.
Sign that check.
Scoop them up.
Sign
please.
that check. And then have them make because Kena very much is a love letter to like games like Ocarina of Time. So just give them that budget to make me the Zelda games that I miss.
Absolutely.
And their next game, they are still partnered with PlayStation. They even go on to mention that they were approached by several people and they chose Sony. So it's really awesome to see.
Yeah, I just can't wait for to continually get cool new things from Ember Labs. It's going to be very special.
And also cool, unique things from also just everybody. Like Xbox Studios, it looks like rumor has it they're going to get the Sun Wukong game.
Oh, cool.
And awesome. It's cool. Branch out, man. Meet some indie developers that are doing cool, unique things. Give them a budget.
Please.
It's going to be really exciting to see what everybody does with all these boatloads of cash that they're going to be getting from all these companies in the soon to be future. With that said, Kyle, question. Are you holding on to something?
Yes.
Prepare the drop. Here are the latest steals and deals coming to the PlayStation storefront. On October 25th, Lady and Leotard with a Gun.
Easy Platinum.
On PS4. Is it really?
I just looked it up. 92% average completion.
How much is this game?
I don't know. I didn't look it up on the store.
All right, I gotta take a look. The 26th of October, we're gonna be talking about it in a sec. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy for PS5 and PS4, and the 27th of October. Here's a laundry list: Amazing Breaker on PS4, Cyanide and Happiness on PS4. Jesus, I already know. Oh my God, the mid-2000s. That game's gonna be a bloody mess. Anyway, Death Park 2 on PS4, Lucid Cycle on PS5 and PS4, Nowhere Girl on PS5, PS4, Princess.Loot.Pixel.Again on PS4, Pumpkin Jack New Gen Edition on PS5. We'll talk about that in just a sec. Quick Maths on PS5, Wind Peaks on PS4, Wrath of Oblivion Afterlife on PSVR, and on the 28th of October, here's what you can take a look at, or check a look at. Backbone for PS5, Bassmaster Fishing, back out, 2022 on PS5, PS4, Fatal Frame, Maiden of Blackwater, PS5 and PS4, Riders Republic, which we'll also talk about in a second, on PS5, PS4, Roki on PS5, and Voice of Cards, The Isle of Dragon Roars on PS4. Kyle, did you check a look on that Lady in a Leotard?
It is currently 49 cents.
All right. All right.
That's cheaper than the Bible games that we played.
Maybe that's a post-show thing, Kyle. Maybe that's a Patreon thing.
Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe.
Oh, in the description of it, just really quick on the PSN store, it says, Lady in a Leotard with a Gun. This is a precursor to my other game, Lizard Lady versus the Cats, with AI and graphics which are simpler. Anyone who's played the other game will be able to see how the AI of the main enemies has been expanded from the AI in this one. There is no story. Just shoot all the enemies and get to the exit.
They know. They know, and
I appreciate them.
Yeah, this thing looks like it's just made out of just like a couple of polygons, you know?
It looks like, with all due respect, that I could never do this. It's not my thing. But like it's like an end of a course project. Like someone first learning how to code and model and stuff like that.
Listen, they know exactly what this game is. Check a look at it. You're gonna be surprised. Anyway, all right, Kyle. Let's talk about what you've been playing, because you asked me a question earlier. All right, about this Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm sorry, Joe.
What's that?
I must have zoned out. I was too busy looking at the leotard game.
Distracted, Kyle?
No, not really. I was just distracted. Yeah, whatever. Did you say the October 20th games? Did I?
Yep.
Okay. Backbone, I played on PC earlier this year. Really cool noir adventure narrative game. The art style is gorgeous.
Oh, really?
Some of the dialogue is a little problematic.
Problematic, you say?
Yeah. Some very heavy, like, they use different kinds of animals for like racial stereotypes. I feel like.
Okay. All right.
Not in the way I think we expect, but like that kind of. It's a heavy kind of noir detective game. It's really, really cool.
So like all Italian people are ferrets is what you're telling me.
You said it.
All right. Oh, we're ferrets. We got smelly planes here. Bass fishing. How about that? All right. Let's talk about what you've been playing real fast.
Yeah.
You asked about Guardians of the Galaxy.
I did. It's loaded in my PS5. I have not gotten a chance to play it yet.
You were really excited about this game.
I was, and I was very upset that everyone kind of like poo-pooed it. They were like, yeah, it doesn't look that great.
It, Kyle.
Yeah, I know you did. That's why I'm excited to hear what you're about to say.
I love this game, Kyle.
Oh, yes.
It is
amazing.
Okay, and the reason why we're so troubled with it is because Avengers just was a cash grab. Let's just call it what it is, right? Or it felt
it wasn't the
such.
Story-based game that we wanted.
Right.
Even though the story's good in Avengers, it just wasn't what we wanted.
Exactly. Or so many people wanted, including myself.
Yeah.
That said, Guardians is that story-based comic game that you've wanted. This is incredibly linear. I think there's 15 levels, 15 chapters. The level design is really, not to say unique, but it's incredibly wide. There's a lot of platforming elements that I don't feel overstay their welcome at all. There are some rudimentary puzzles you have to solve, like Ratchet. Rocket is trying to that's an endgame quote right there. He's trying like to rewire some things, and like the wires are through the floorboard, and you kind of have to solve or move pieces around to connect the dots type of thing. So like the puzzle elements are a little bit bland, but when it comes to the combat, Kyle, you're going to really dig this, because the one game that came to mind when we took a look at it and we were like, oh, you're fighting blobs. Oh, you're commanding them. You're not being Gamora.
I remember that moment very well.
Very well. You were so upset at us, and rightfully so, because the combat is awesome, Kyle.
Sweet.
Like,
is it too hard to control the other Guardians because you're only Peter Quill?
Yes.
Is it like a difficult thing to keep track of what the other Guardians are doing?
Not necessarily. There is a learning curve. It's not incredibly steep, but it's there. And so for me, it really much feels like Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I knew that's what you'd get a kick out of, because the combat is very much, you hit L1 and time moves slower, and then your your cross, square, triangle, circle, your Squid Game buttons. Those you get to choose then. All right, I'm Gamora, or I'm choosing Drax, or I'm choosing Groot, and you get to make their moves that way. And
cool.
Each enemies react to their different moves differently. Like Groot is a support character, and what he does, from what I've seen so far, I'm about chapter 6 into this game, is he roots them together. And then what Rocket can do is he sends a huge literal rocket to AoE them. So you could really mix and match combat styles, but it's really, really fun. And Peter himself, though it's not like the most I guess like hardcore combat or like intense combat for like a third person shooter, it very much is more like Pikmin-esque in terms of like selecting your group of guys to fight group B. It's engaging enough that there is some things that you have to do alongside your guardians as well. So it's pretty darn fun, man. I'm really having a blast. There's go for it.
A couple things just real quick. Do you have to build up a charge bar to access the other guardians?
No. But there is a charge guard or charge meter that when you charge it up all the way, you give everybody a pep talk, and depending on what you say during the pep talk, it'll either you'll either motivate them to do double damage, or no one will understand the reference that you're trying to get at, so you'll just revive everybody.
Oh, that's cool.
And they won't do any bonus damage. But the cool thing is, when you get it right, you'll have different music playing in the background. And let me tell you something, the music that plays in this game is stellar. Kyle, I had a fight where I was fighting to the final countdown. It was playing the whole song.
Why is that not on the box art? Why is that not on the back cover? Fight a boss with the final countdown in the background. Come on.
And like, I was doing lousy, but I was getting hype during it.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I really, really enjoy this game, and the story is excellent. The characters... Yeah, go for it, please.
Because it leads into the story and the characters. Do they feel like Guardians? Do they feel like we know them? Are they different enough from the MCU? Or is it like the issue with some of the Avengers characters where like we can tell that's Nolan North as Tony?
Everybody does a great job, and I wanted to pull up the tweet that I made because I think this one speaks volumes in 280 characters or less, where it feels like Eidos Montreal understood what made the movies great, so you get the elements of like their quirkiness, the vibe that you're getting feels a little bit like James Gunn. Again, like the music that plays a huge role in movies plays a huge role here. And again, they're not like generic rock songs. Like you got Journey in there, right? Like you got Metallica, all this stuff.
Cool.
But at the same exact time adds depth to these characters that you don't get in a 20-minute movie. And so for this, like you kind of understand Rocket's background a little bit more, and kind of answer some questions that you may have lingering at the end of like Galaxies 1 or 2. Same with Drax, and same with Gamora. I think they actually do a better job humanizing her in this game than they do in Guardians of the Galaxy in the movies. Sweet. So to me, they add the depth with the comic book lore that is then just the icing to what is the cake that is what made Guardians of the Galaxy this billion-dollar franchise. And I think Eidos Montreal pulled off what I think Crystal couldn't, which is giving you something that feels familiar, but also feels different and original, if that makes sense.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to play.
Very narrative driven. Very. Beautiful. So like you get some action, you get some puzzle, and then you get a lot of story. And the big shout out to this game is the facial animation, Kyle, is the best I've seen since Last of Us Part 2.
Oh, really?
Kyle, it's uncanny.
That's
sometimes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. I'm very excited.
Love it.
Just want to really quickly shout out, if you can, I don't know if it's still available to download or buy anymore. Play Guardians of the Galaxy from Telltale.
Okay.
If you want a narrative Guardians game, because I feel like they did a very good job with the Guardians in that game.
Yeah.
That game made me cry at the end because of the choices and what you had to do with them. Yeah, it was great.
So yeah, I've been playing that and I've been loving it. How about you? What have you been playing? Anything?
Yeah. So shout out to I should have had this up already.
How dare you?
The devs behind Pumpkin Jack.
Yes.
They provided us with codes to play the PS5 version. When we got the code, the PlayStation didn't do the thing that it's supposed to do with the update. It just downloaded the PS4 version, which has been out since February, and I was very confused. I'm like, why can't we talk about that we're playing it if this game's been out for so long? Not realizing afterwards, after I already platinumed the PS4 game, that this code was for the PS5 version. I had to go to re-download that. So I did play through and plat both versions. It's a fine game.
Yes.
It's not going to blow the hinges off of or redefine the platforming genre, because you do play as Pumpkin Jack, who is a one of the devil's soldiers, minions, rogues, and you are trying to make your way up and do the devil's bidding as you're going through, and the levels remind me very much of a PS2 era platforming game. So like that comparison that people gave Kana of like, oh, this reminds me of PS2 games.
Way more fitting here.
Way more fitting with Pumpkin Jack. And not in a bad way. Like, it plays fine. It's not going to blow your socks off, but I think what it did well. I think a lot of it could have been changed where every single level you have to do like a repeated on rails section. Yeah. And that they got a little tedious at times.
Bosses are also very like,
we already did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clear
collectibles
waves.
Are just like on the floor in front of you on the ground. Yeah. Like, they're not really hidden all that great. But yeah, the platinum's very easy to get. If you want to follow a guide to find like the hard to find crow skulls, you can. The cool thing that I didn't use it a whole lot unless I had to, was your L1 button. You find a crow buddy. Yes. You basically use that crow as like your ranged attack. I kind of use it almost like a parry of like to interrupt an enemy just to like get them off my back as I go deal with the other enemies around me. I dig that. I dig the dynamic between the crow and Pumpkin Jack. After every boss, you get a new weapon.
Which all kind of just do the same thing.
And I feel like they don't do a whole lot more damage as they go up. So it's a fine platforming game. Yeah. And I think around this time of Halloween, I think it's a great game to play right around this time. And I do want to mention the differences between PS4 and PS5.
Is there any?
Visually, there's a little bit more contrast to like the colors and whatnot. And the haptics, I did notice it when I played, because the PS4 version didn't really have any real rumble that I noticed. Okay. There were some haptics in there, nothing of like, oh my god, this is like the best use of them ever.
It kind of just felt like, for me, that was actually my biggest was that for me, it just kind of felt like a little rumble. Nothing too spectacular.
It's like a dual shock thing, but like the PS4 version didn't really have that.
Yeah, to me, this is a really easy platinum. It's a fine game to reminisce about a PS2 classic that you may love. But you're right, it is very like, here's a platforming section, here's an on-rail section, here's some fighting.
If you played Medieval back in the day, it's Medieval mixed with like Maximo, if you remember the Maximo games.
Yeah. And I think this is going to be a perfect game for kids. Like, this is something 100%. You bought. Like, if you're like, I need this for my kid, go for it. This is worth it. But to me, like, $30 asking price might be a little steep. I would wait. If this is like a $20 deal, I would hop on that for sure. Yeah. But it's decent. It's a good time. It's a good shut off your brain, earn an easy plat game for me. Yeah. Yeah. Kyle, anything else you've played?
No, but can I drop my Megaton thing right now?
Oh, please. I was just going to say I played a little bit of Riders Republic. Not enough.
Go ahead.
Yeah, not enough to give a full review. They did this really weird thing where they're just like, no embargo, just talk about it. And I'm
Oh, cool.
literally yesterday. And I'm like, okay. This game really feels like, and this credit to Season Gaming, Ains and the crew over there for coining this, definitely feels like Forza Horizon for esports, or extreme sports. So I'm digging it so far. Biking's a lot of fun. They give you like a jetpack. Snowboarding seems fun as well. I'm not far along in it, so I can't give a heavy recommendation for you, but it seems like a good time. The few, I think 2 or 3 hours I've put into it so far.
I dug the beta. What was that? September?
There is a trial right now you could download. So definitely, and it carries over.
Time.
And it carries over into the main game. All right, Kyle.
That's great.
Let me hear your megaton. I want to hear, what's this announcement you teased me about? You said this is going to change things forever.
It will. Oh my god, I'm nervous. I'm so nervous.
Okay.
It's been a long time coming. I hemmed and hawed about whether or not I was going to say this on the show, but it's time to get it out there. Joe guessed if I'm going to be voicing in a video game, that'd be huge. Not it.
Oh my god, then what is it?
It's been 42 hours, 2,568 minutes, 154,108 seconds since me, Mr. K-Step, has platinum Bloodborne and 100%ed the game.
What?
That's right, Joe. I wanted to get this done before Halloween. I wanted to give it a good old honest try. Took me 55 hours to do it all. I platted Bloodborne. I beat the DLC, meaning I'm the bigger Bloodborne fan than you because you haven't even played the DLC. And guess what? I was totally wrong. Bloodborne is incredible.
Oh my god, we've done it! Oh my god!
Shout out to Sin Vendetta who gave me some tips, and of course Mike Towndrow from 6 One Indie. They were the only two people that knew that I was going through it. I finished it a couple days ago. I was in it. I came home from the interviews, and I was like, all right, I gotta get on. I'm thinking about it. I gotta go fight Rom. I gotta go beat these stupid celestial emissaries in this garden.
God, yes.
Yeah. Did I follow a walkthrough step by step? Absolutely, I did. I'm not gonna. But whatever. Like, I did it. Did I pull my hair out many times? Yes, I had to walk away several times.
Oh my god, it has been 2,409 days since the launch of Bloodborne, and now, Kyle, I'm gonna cuss. I'm sorry, guys. This isn't gonna get bleeped. My good friend Mo knows what I'm talking. My fucking son, Kyle, you've done it. You've done it. Oh my god, I couldn't be more proud.
And I just tweeted the photo I took, a selfie of me in the screen pointing to the 100%. Because I did the DLC too, Joe.
All right.
Which is
no excuses now for me.
Incredible.
Yeah.
The bosses in that DLC are so much better than most of the bosses in the main game.
All right.
We're saying it right now.
We're going for it.
Joe, I'm saying it right now.
Wow. Dude.
Megaton dropped. You did when you mentioned Bloodborne on Twitter when I talked about it, I was like, oh no, he's gonna guess it immediately.
Oh my God.
I was so meticulous. Mm-hmm. I hid my trophies.
Wow.
Made my PSN profile thing private. I can't.
No wonder I didn't see you. Oh my God.
I wanted this to be a complete surprise.
Wow.
Yeah,
Sin
man.
Vendetta, the goat. Mike Townsend, the goat.
I'm shocked you didn't pick up on it because last week I mentioned stick Ludwig's holy blade up your ass, and I thought you were going to pick up on that. How does Kyle know about that weapon? Wow. That's what I main +10 maxed it out. I did everything.
I'm so fucking proud of you, man. I'm so proud. Sorry, I cursed again. This is great.
So good.
This is a well earned. Oh man. Oh, this is great. This is great news. Honestly, it's on the... Here's my reaction. Same level. If you're like, Joe, you know that job I've been really trying hard for? Got it. I'm on the same level.
That's amazing.
All right. So after Guardians, I need to plan this out now. After Guardians, I plan on beating it and platting it, and then I'm going to get to Life is Strange, because I hear that is up for Game of the Year talk. And then after that is Halo. Damn it. So how do I fit old hunters in. Well, Joe, if you're a real fan, you're going to find a way to fit it in. That's what she said.
I mean, I did it in roughly 6.5, 7 hours.
Oh, okay.
It's not too bad.
It's not too bad.
The last boss, though, is ridiculous.
Okay. Here I was.
There is a cheese method, but it's really hard.
I was going to wait till the 60 FPS patch.
No.
We're in. No. I'm going to fight where there's a will, there is a way.
I can't wait to talk to you about the Lady Maria fight.
Oh, my God. Lady Maria.
Oh, my God. It's so good.
I can make that joke. You can't. Wow. Should we even do questions at this point? That's what a
I don't know.
What an occasion. Jedi Master Ren writes in, welcome to the Sony Pony Express. Yeehaw!
Yeehaw!
You send your questions or comments towards us over at PS Trophy Room on Twitter, or you can send them over at the Trophy Room Discord server. Jedi Master Ren again writes in saying, hey, Mr. Badstep, I get what you did there, and I approve.
Ooh.
Did the reveal of the remastered GTA trilogy meet y'all's expectations or exceed them? Also, what do you make of the internet discourse around the reveal? So yeah, we finally got GTA, trilogy revealed. And it's so weird. It's called GTA: The Collection: The Definitive Editions, which is just such a weird title, but they changed the art a bit. And on the characters, my first reaction, Kyle, was it was a bit of an uncanny valley because it looked a little cartoonish. And to me, for the first 15 minutes, I was just looking at it going, I don't know how I feel about it. But then when I saw side-by-side comparisons of like the environment, I then totally understand and totally on board. Yeah.
I loved it from the get-go. I really dug the style from the moment I saw what they did. Mm-hmm. Because they don't need to reinvent the visuals. I feel like just upgrade them a tiny bit, which they did, and just make the controls what they are, like modern games are. That's all I want.
Yeah.
And it sounds like that's what it is. And I am super excited to go back to Vice City again.
Same. Now, here's a question. So GTA 3 is going to be on PS now. And then,
but a month later
on December 7th, I believe.
Yes.
And then on the 11th, San Andreas comes to Game Pass. So it's kind of like they're splitting up the kids. It seems like in the divorce. That may
Does
have
it come to
soon.
Switch? Does Switch get Vice City somewhere?
They get like the cloud version. So yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Now I'm excited for it. I don't know if I'm willing to spend $60 on it. What say you?
It's fair. I mean, I probably will.
Yeah.
If I'm just not rationing out the price, but like each one of those games is $20 in the grand scheme of things in a one package.
But wouldn't you rather go like, I don't like GTA 3. I want to, just buy these two separately?
I mean, if I'm honest, I love all three.
Okay. Fair.
So like I'd want them anyway. So just to have them in one package is fine.
Well, how do you feel then, like them just getting rid of the old editions of these games? Like from what I understand, the older titles will be erased.
They're off the stores.
Yeah.
Like the PS2 classics of those games are gone, I think.
And I get it. You don't want to confuse the two for the common consumer and then go like, I picked the wrong thing and PlayStation has a dumbfoundingly awful way of returning things, which is like, you can't. So I get it. But at the same exact time, game preservation and all that jazz.
Yeah, it is. It is a little bit of a bummer, but you are getting the best versions now.
Okay. Fair enough.
I can go both ways with it.
Yeah. And I feel like with the popularity of those games, we're not saying you should do it like we're Kotaku over here, but emulators and also just how many millions of copies those games sold. So I'm not like, I don't have the worst feelings about them being locked away, but I think for the future generations, that's a bit of a bummer. You can't even try out what this game was originally intended to feel like. I get it, but a bummer. That said, Nagachaka writes in. He goes, this one's for the Nintendo Nook. Oh, God.
Grab out the cardboard boxes, friends.
Miyamoto's just like walking down the hallway. You guys working hard enough? We're putting Pikmin on the phone.
Excuse me.
What, you want a Pikmin 4? You want a Pikmin 4?
No. It's Donkey Kong's anniversary. Can we do a Donkey Kong game?
No.
he's really
I don't give a shit about your feelings. I don't give a shit about your feelings. Listen to me, kid. Listen, we're going to emulate all your N64 games that you love so much like shit, and you're going to buy it. All right?
All I want is a new Donkey Kong.
You shut your mouth and you're going to buy our garbage. Nintendo has added the Animal Crossing DLC to their overpriced expansion pack. This DLC can be purchased on its own or without it. This is something because Sony should, on its own. The DLC can be purchased on its own or without it. Okay, I get where you're getting here, Nakachaka. Is this something Sony should do where they include with their first-party games DLC to PlayStation Plus or even PlayStation Now? Imagine Horizon Forbidden West DLC available to purchase for $20 on its own or added to PlayStation Plus service at no extra cost. Is Nintendo onto something here? Ooh. Or are they just playing their own rules as usual? This is a really good one, Kyle, and I want to know your thoughts on this one.
I think it's great for us.
Yeah.
So, like, every DLC for a first-party thing, it would be free to PS Plus subscribers. A, that'd be great for everyone that is already a PS Plus subscriber.
Mm-hmm.
B, that would be an incentive to get PS Plus. I think that'd be fantastic, but I don't think they'll do it because it makes them money.
Yeah.
I think it's too much money being made on PlayStation side of things for these massive games. Because when I honestly think Nintendo, I don't think DLC stuff for their games. I feel like that's kind of a rare occasion. Again, I'm not super knowledgeable. I'm just passing by the Nintendo Nook and poking my head in. But yeah, I feel like when I think of like Super Mario Odyssey, I don't think that got any expansions.
Yeah,
or like,
that's true. That's like you're asking for a
Breath
lot
of the Wild,
DLC.
maybe. I think Breath of the Wild is the one that I can think of that had a decent amount of DLC on it.
That's true. That's good. That's a great question. And to me, I would love to see this happening. But I would also think, is this something then PlayStation is pretty much says to all of its developers, you have to have DLC in your game or not, just to add value? Or is this something that is kind of, I hate this word because it's used a lot, but more like of an organic approach where it's just like, hey, God of War Ragnarok has a DLC, or Horizon doesn't, but you still get that God of War DLC in part of this pack? That would be still pretty cool. And I would like to see this for sure. But you're right. I think these games also cost a lot more money than what, Nintendo's doing. It's one of the reasons why, I think when we're taking a look at like why PlayStation games are going to PC, because their games are super expensive to make. When you genuinely look at what Nintendo does, they don't go with the hard hitting, hardware and pushing visuals to their limit. And I think it's a more cost effective way for them to succeed because they don't have to worry about porting their games to PC. Because I genuinely think their games would be, and this is me now talking out of my butt, but like genuinely easier to develop for, or not easier, but a little bit cheaper to develop for. I can't imagine, Mario being a $200+ million game to make, if that makes any sense. But maybe I'm just a dumb idiot, and only time will tell. Hide Indoors says, question for the show. What do you think triggers PlayStation to have a state of play like this? Do you think they have an idea first and then find the games to fill them? Or do they have a game that they want to showcase and then build around to it? Usually, from what I understand how these things work, is they plot when they're going to talk, and then they fill the announcements then. So they're like, they'll go, okay, so what's a good strategy for your state of play? How many are we going to have this year? And they build around that rather than like, they'll go up to their first party lineup going, okay, when is the best for you guys to show off your thing? When can you do it? And they build around that. So that's why you see them having like quarterly announcements. It's strictly for that. I don't think they find a game, they go build around this. I think they find opportunities to show off their games and do it that way.
With that being said, we've now gone 2 months in a row though with a state of play after not having one for a while.
Yeah.
It's very inconsistent.
Very, yeah.
And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I understand the strategy behind it. Like, get PlayStation's name out there when things aren't like really hopping for PlayStation right now.
Yeah.
God, I sound like my sister. But I honestly like I dig these bite-sized chunks of state of play video game announcements. They're really cool. I'm a sucker for the long ones though.
Yes.
Like just an hour of just give me everything.
Yeah.
I feel like those are the way to go usually. And I just miss the longer form of like game announcements kind of thing.
Likewise. I like these 20-minute ones, you kind of get anxiety because you're like, when's the thing that I want to be comes up here?
Sure.
You know, where like you have the 45-minute or 50-minute events and you're like, okay, you're kind of chillaxing and vibing to it. So yeah, I think, Kyle, we get another one in January.
Yeah, I think that's a solid bet.
Yeah. Because you want to take one more look at Horizon. Maybe even in February you throw it in there. Because you want one more look at Horizon and then couple that with Sifu that you also have marketing deal with. And I think that would be a good combo for both those games.
Yeah, I dig that a lot. I don't think we get one next month or December. I think Game Awards takes up that space. I'd be shocked if any of the big three or anybody puts out a thing around Game Awards.
Yeah.
I feel like everything is probably going to be there.
Yep. Bloodborne 2, please. Now Kyle gets the hype. You have to do
I get
this.
it.
Oh, man. Remember when we were talking about Bloodborne last week and you couldn't say a goddamn thing? Remember that?
I do.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Now you get it. All right, everybody. That has been the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast. I want to thank everybody for stopping by in our live stream. It was awesome to just see, dozens of folks when we hit live just jump on in. That was nuts because you all know how little we stream. Literally, the last time we streamed was the last State of Play. So thank you all for coming in. Thank you, everybody, for sticking by as well. Kyle, is there anything you want to spotlight before we head on out of here, sir?
Sure. I'll spotlight myself, Mr. K-Step on Twitter, also on PSN and on Xbox, so hit me up there as well. Follow all the indie game coverage that I do over at 61indie.com. That's SIXONEINDIE, and all the podcast services wherever you listen, you can find our shows. 61 IndieCast is our game-focused one, and Dollar Slice is our conversational one. Some really great indie games have been coming out steadily, and the team over there have been playing them and writing really rad reviews, so go check them out.
Hell yeah. And of course, I like to spotlight myself here over at Mr. Badbit on Twitter, over at PS Trophy Room on Twitter. Again, go follow us on Discord. We have just such amazing community there. So go on, stop on by there, say hello, make some new friends. It's great here. Everybody's nice. And yeah.
Absolutely.
With that said, with all that out of the way, you can find us over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. Next week, we have a lot of cool refreshes and some new stuff to check a look at there. So make sure you're following us there because there's some cool stuff headed your way. All right, I promise.
Yeah.
And you can find us over on YouTube. You can find us over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast service of choice, you can find us there. And with all that said, with all that out of the way, everybody, keep your wits about you. Keep hunting. And keep playing PlayStation. See you guys.
Bloodborne!
Woo!